I'm here with Tina Mann, and this is Lee Street Beat. As Hacker, she may join us a little later on. She's having a couple of technical difficulties. So welcome to another episode of Lee Street Beat. We have a lot to unpack today. We begin the day by attempting to make sense of the Trump administration and the recent scandals of the past week, alienating our allies, the shameful display in Helsinki. You name it, this administration has sunk to a new low. Tina Mann, when are the Republicans going to protect us from this president?
They're never going to protect us from this president. They don't intend to protect us from this president because it's their president. He does their bidding. These Republican legislators are there to make money. And they're there to make money off the bequest of the American people. If you get help and get a couple of drops to help your family, well, that's good. But they're there to enrich their pockets. They are not going to impeach Donald Trump because that would say that they have a sense of a moral strand, a thread that runs through them, and they would address it. But they're not going to do it. They're going to find any and every way to do it. The only way this is going to happen is when the Congress changes its hands to the Democratic Party. Now, these Democrats will impeach Trump in a minute, but impeachment
New York minute
is not the only thing. Part of the impeachment process is to remove him from office. They don't have enough votes at this time to remove him from office. And that's what we need. We need him to remove him from office. But with a Democratic majority in the House and Senate, we can curtail a lot of his actions. So he'll be doing stuff on executive, Trump will do stuff with executive actions.
So when you saw the president stand right next to Vladimir Putin and cow down to him and not call him out for what he has done to this country with our election, and then you heard last night that the president was briefed 2 weeks before his election. He was shown evidence, texts, emails that Vladimir Putin did indeed order for our election to be hacked, our election to be compromised. I'm just saying, when you heard that and you saw the display, I mean, you tie it all together. I mean, I feel like, I need somebody to tell me to have hope.
Donald Trump is nothing but a prison punk. That's what he is. He walk around all manly, but when he get in that cell with Putin, he's submissive. He's submissive to anything that Putin wants and what Putin wants him to do. So that's what he is. He's a little prison punk. So when you see this and he talking about he's strong and he's this, these are just words run off his mouth because he don't have the vocabulary to say, I'm weak, I'm submissive, I'm a fool, and I'm an imbecile. Because those are the words that really describe Donald Trump. Common sense would tell you that if it's like somebody coming in your house and robbing you, and your kids say, hey, Mr. George came in the house and robbed you, and then you says, well, Mr. George said he didn't do it. Really?
Okay, go over Mr. George's house, see all your stuff.
Than your own family. And they're the ones that's losing stuff along with you. It's asinine to think the logic that he has. They always talking about these serial killers, that they want to take their brain and examine them. This is a man who's living, whose brain needs to be examined.
So when you saw the president try to backtrack and change would to wouldn't, and not, address his whole, spiel about how he really took sides, with the Russians against his own intelligence. I mean, does he really think that we're just going, discount everything that he said in that horrible speech and just say, oh, he wouldn't? Okay, I get it. I don't get it.
Well, he does because his base, they don't read. They don't use understanding. They don't use reason. They believe anything he says. He's a cult figure to them. Donald Trump doesn't read. And what he does know, he want to dismiss. It's as simple as that. Because it makes him look bad. But apparently he thinking looking weak in front of Putin and being submissive to Putin makes him look strong, because Putin says you look strong when you stand next to me. Now the rest of the world, 3.5 billion people, all say you look weak.
He looked pathetic this past week. And you know what? I think that the Republican Party is complicit, and I think it might have something to do with this Russian lady that they've gotten jail now. She's, probably at the end of the day going to be charged with espionage. She hasn't been charged with it yet, but she's infiltrated the NRA. There's been a lot of money that's been funneled into the Trump administration through the NRA, and she was here lobbying for arms control in Russia, which they don't allow the citizens, and Putin will never allow the citizens to, carry guns. So, you know what? And there's a lot of, lyric, maybe possibly sexual, stuff that may be involved.
Maria Butina.
And I think that other Republicans are involved in this. And I think it has a lot to do with why Republicans themselves know that it's not just Donald Trump's in trouble.
That person that you're talking about, that agent who they're calling Red Sparrow, is Maria Butina.
Yes.
I'm not going to call her Red Sparrow, because if you've seen the movie Red Sparrow, you will get an understanding what she does, what an agent does. I'm going to call her a red owl, because an owl is a bird of prey. That's what she is. She's a bird of prey. She's a red-headed seductress from the Soviet Union to come to prey on these politicians, these weak men. And what is the most old-fashioned way to get a man to flip is through sex. And these men aren't the first one. They built the embassy back in the 70s, and Clayton Longtree, a young Marine, single, in Moscow, took a spy and sent all in through the embassy. They got every secret there was. This other woman, Anna Chapman, she was a spy. She did the same thing. They get these men, they seduce them, and that's it. They tell all the secrets, they tell everything, they give them access to whatever they want. I mean, the Russians are very adept at using old school technology. And the biggest weakness of most men are money and sex. And
I mean, they even had John Bolton, giving speeches on their behalf. I mean, John Bolton should know that Russia does not allow its citizens, nor are they engaging in any kind of transition to allow their citizens to own guns.
John Bolton with his old self got some young red-haired girl with a beautiful smile and a banging body, giving him attention. Can you do it? Can you do this for me, please? I'm going to show love it, and like that. And what did John Bolton says? Yeah, I can do it, because the man she's living with is almost his age. So he feels that he got a shot.
He did.
But she's offering,
I'm sure.
She's offering sex, and he thinks that he hit a lottery hitting this girl, having sex with her. Oh, yeah, John Bolton went for that. And you know what? In all fairness, and as a man, you say you're going to put up the resistance. Strong as I am, I probably wouldn't be able to fight that resistance too. Because she would have said, can I come in your house and look around and steal your wife's recipes? I probably said, come on in here, Maria. You can go ahead and take everything. Now, unlike them, I'm a catch hell. So I probably get executed for being treasonous.
Yeah,
bringing a seductress in my house, and a Russian one at that. I just say this to American men. These Russian women are out of your league. They are out of your league. They're a whole new alien species. You can't deal with them. These aren't Latina seductress. These aren't Nigerian seductress. These aren't Black female seductress or white seductress or any other Asian seductress. These Russian women are on a whole new level, and you have no idea of what they are.
Wow. Well, you know what? I think that before the last shoe drops, that there are going to be a lot of Republicans caught up in it. There's even some information about one of the candidates was seeking out information from the Russians, from Hillary. So I think when all of that falls, I think that we'll know why they have been resistant to do anything, because when it all gets unfolded, there's going to be more.
Because they all profit. They all profit from the NRA. She's part of the NRA. The Russian money flow into the NRA. Listen, Paul Ryan wants to play dumb, act like he didn't know what was going on. He knew what's going on. He knew where his money was coming from, and he's not no fool. But he's going to look the other way and use denial plausibility. That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
But
Paul Ryan is
because winning is everything in this game. You know, I must win, and I win at all costs. And if I win, it justifies the means.
So last week, what did you think about when our president kept walking in front of the Queen?
You know what? He's some kind of imbecile. He has no respect for protocol. The truth of the matter is, Donald Trump does not respect women. He doesn't respect women in power. The Queen, you know, I mean, even though she's a symbolic icon of the Great Britain, of the British Empire, she's still the Queen. She carries a lot of weight. She carries influence. Donald Trump wanted the state welcome him at. He wanted the Queen to send the carriage to come and take him down there to Buckingham Palace. You know what? Then he talking about, oh, I reviewed the troops. This is the first time. Those are lies, you know. And I know Queen Elizabeth is probably looking at him and said, I sure wish Barack and Michelle was here, because they actually have respect, you know, for the crown. He doesn't have respect for the crown. You know, he's walking around, you know, he's ignorant on everything. He's just ignorant to life. He's ignorant to protocol, and nobody can tell him nothing. And that's a shame. You know, he dismissed Theresa May. He dismissed Angela Merkel.
He did.
The women are smarter than him. Angela Merkel, yeah, well, she may not be the most glamorous woman like his wife is, but Angela Merkel is smart. She can read, she can understand, she can do things that Donald Trump and his wife could never do if they both of them put their heads together.
Oh God. True. That's so true. It was a horrible display, and to be quite frank, he was really shunned because he wasn't able to meet with William or his younger brother. They both decided that they did not want to meet with him. Also, Harry didn't want to meet with him, and also the Queen's husband said he didn't want to meet with them. She had to go by herself. She was actually stuck going by herself, and she wore a brooch that Michelle and gave her last year.
Yeah, that's a little subtle thing. Yeah, this is. I'm surprised what she should have did is ask Donald Trump to hold her a corgi, but he probably would have dropped the dog and been even more of embarrassment. You know, the mayor of London doesn't want to meet you. Donald Trump, the world don't like you. The world despises you, and it's not because you're doing good, it's because you're doing bad. The people who embrace you are heinous people. Kim Jong-un, you know, Vladimir Putin, any other despot, you know, to be there. I was waiting for you to go to the Philippines to embrace the Durante, you know, so these are the people who he likes, you know. What was the guy in Africa that he just now finally got out of power in Zimbabwe or whatever it is. I can't think what his name is. But anyway, he was another heinous person in the life of the world. So, but these are the people that Donald Trump looks up to. And it's so sad that nobody knows what's right and what's wrong. And that because money's involved, they think it justifies it.
Yeah. Well, we know that there's money involved, and we know there's scandal involved, and there might even be much more than that. And when it all comes out, I'm gonna tell you something. I think it's gonna be 100 times worse than what we're seeing. Is, you know, I think when it really gets exposed with what this lady from Russia knows, it's gonna get real. I think it's gotten pretty real for them already. So, you know, one of the things that kind of hit the news last week, which was rather big, was about Papa John. Apparently he was on a phone call, and it was a phone call on how to better his image. And for some reason he said the N-word. I already fell out with Papa John because he really, you know, took the wrong side last year or two by saying that he felt like the NFL was losing business because the players were taking a knee and they were taking a knee to protest police brutality. It has nothing, you know, to do with them. It has less to do with the players taking a knee and more to do with people understanding what these players are doing. A lot of them understand, that they're getting injured and hurt, and that the NFL doesn't care about them. And a lot of people are turning away from the game. And yeah, so they're not buying all your pizza because they're not there watching people, crack their brains.
Well, Papa John, let me just say that you're competing with Little Caesars, you're competing with Domino's. As you noticed, they didn't take any kind of political stance. They kept their mouth shut. Whatever their political views are, they're keeping it to themselves. That's something that you should have did. But no, because you waited in there, and actually in 2008, when you actually criticized Barack Obama, I stopped buying pizza from Papa John's then.
Yeah, he did. He did.
So, and the thing is, it's cheap pizza. It's okay pizza. But you know what? Me and you, we grew up here. Gigio pizza is a lot better than Papa John's.
All day long.
Costs the same amount, if not cheaper. So I don't need Papa John. Papa John needs me. And now that he's gone, good riddance. Not going to miss you. I'll take my business to Little Caesars. I'll take my business to Pizza Hut. I'll take my business to Domino's.
Yeah, well, Domino's did change their formula over the last few years, and their pizza improved. But I just, I love pizza, but I'm just done with Papa John's. My mom and dad really like Papa John's pizza too. They used to buy it all the time, and it was just really just sad to see him, just come out with these different reasons why he felt like that he was losing money with business surrounding football. Football itself is just becoming less popular. I think people are watching more, trying to watch more soccer now.
Well, yeah, soccer is the biggest sport in the world. I mean, that's the truth of the matter. Not only that, football, even though the controversy, Trump created the controversy because he wanted people to turn away from football so he can force Robert Goodell to lose viewerships. And so that's their way of boycotting us or boycotting football. And also football, it doesn't have no big name stars. The stars are gone. You got Tom Brady, that's it. Who else is big? Who are the wide receivers? Who are your running backs? Who are your linebackers? I mean, when we grew up in the Chicago Bears, you knew everybody who was on the Bears team. You knew the offense, you knew the defense. And you knew
the Super Bowl shuffle.
Yeah, you knew the Super Bowl shuffle. I mean, when you think of teams like, when you look at it now is the Patriots, Dallas just because of Jerry Jones. We don't know who the Bears has got as quarterback.
Yes.
Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. That's about it. We don't know who Tampa Bay is. Well, I guess Winston, but he's always got some kind of trouble. But for the most part, we don't know who these players are. It's a whole new younger generation, and they're not as good as the older generation.
True. So we ran across a feel-good story.
Okay.
It was about a young man in Alabama. He got a job, and his car broke down. And you know what? This young man was so determined to make sure that he got to his job on the first day on time. He left out at 12 o'clock at night, and he walked 20 miles to go to a job where he was working for a moving company. So, you walk 20 miles and you got to, do all this physical work. But they were so inspired by, his story, his tenacity, that the owner, heard about it and gave him his very own van.
Well, you know what? That's such a good feel-good story, and I'm glad. I would have told that young man, since you can literally walk a mile for what you want, somebody should get him in a marathon because he can make more money.
He definitely needs some new shoes. I mean,
let's put him in a marathon. Let him get some money. Some real money. Pick up. He ain't gonna be the winner's money, but you know what? Hey, he might pick up $15,000 for coming in 20th place. So, and that's enough to get. That's enough to get a little bit better than a hoopty. But the boss giving him his car is such an inspirational story. And then they always talk about people how lazy are, how they don't want to work and they don't want to do this. This is a man who walked 20 miles for his job, and he was doing it consistently. I mean, I don't know what shoes he's wearing, but Nike, Adidas, Puma, it's time for you to go ahead and do a commercial and hook the brother up.
Exactly. I'm sure he
whatever
was
shoes
doing
he's wearing, I don't care if it's Payless, give him some good shoes.
Okay. Yeah, buddy. I hope he, wore some good socks too, boy, because I get to rubbing, you know.
Doctor shows, here's another example of them inserts.
Yeah. And we ran across another story too about a young man with a lemonade stand. Did you read that story?
No, I didn't read the lemonade stand. Did they call the police on him?
Oh, you know they called the police on it.
Why is it every time we want to be an entrepreneur, they call the police on us? You know what? I'm gonna say this right now, Sandra. If they could call the cyber police on us, some white women would.
No doubt. No doubt.
She could call the cyber police on us because she don't know us and she ain't seen us on the internet before. But we here. We've been out here a little while and we're gonna keep being here. So I just want to let you know.
Okay. They may come into the window and tell us that we got to shut it down.
And it's like, I mean, it's like when the police come, I mean, what goes on in the process of the police department? And somebody says, there's some kid out here with a lemonade stand and he's selling lemonade, and I don't think he has a permit. Do the police people say, now I got to go out here and tell this 10-year-old or 11-year-old child that he's selling lemonade on a sidewalk? Well, you can't sell it on the sidewalk. Just move back 1 foot back on your property so I can go.
Well, the good part about this story is that, yes, the police were called, but when the police came, they talked to the young man. He had done it the year before. He was trying to raise money so he could get clothes and shoes for his, upcoming school year. And so what they did is they went in and helped him get a permit. They saw to it that he went to school to learn how to, learn about food safety. And I think like the permit was like 10 days, so he could do 10 days there. So they set up so that he can have sell like 10 days in front of like the police station, and then 10 days at another fest or whatever. And that certainly should, get him through. But, it's another good story. And the police really helped in this case. And they said, you know what, we're going to help you. And you know what, he's really enthusiastic. He's learning about, being an entrepreneur. And I really appreciate the police, taking this story and going, okay, all right, you want to go there? All right, we're gonna uplift this man. Okay, we're gonna uplift him while you over here trying to be stupid, calling us for, little nothing else.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think whoever called the police on him backfired. And it backfired for that kid's benefit because she didn't want to see him profit. Now, she probably, now that she's got all this viral attention on her, they'll probably says, well, that's not what I want. I'm so concerned. Listen, if you bought a cup of lemonade and you found that it had a booger in it, then I could see you calling the police. But if anything short of that, you should mind your own business, stay in your own lane, and quit making drama.
Yeah, that's what kids do. And I ran across another story, T. Man, I this one was really messed up. It was a video that I saw about a man. He was out there with, some of his friends, and he was barbecuing. And a woman across the street, like, 2-3 houses over, called to complain that she smelled smoke. But of course, these young black men were saying that, well, just 2 days ago, somebody like next door to her was barbecuing. She didn't call y'all. So it wasn't the police that she called. It's like she called like the HOA association. So he came over and gave him some kind of little citation. But it was just another display of, people just besides themselves for no reason. It reminds me of when Hecky's opened up, and people around there took him to court for all the smoke he had going on. And
yeah. He was polluting the air with a good barbecue smell, Yeah. So
Hecky got me spoiled.
It's unfortunate that they do it. I have an HOA in my residence also. Some people are overzealous. We had an elderly man, and he went around the HOA to the meeting, and he said people had cracks in their driveway, and he wanted people to replace the apron in their driveway because they had a crack.
Wow.
And so he wanted the HOA to go cite everybody that had a crack in their driveway. I mean, mine's driveway just happened to have pavers, you know. So I guess, you know, I was really in violation then because I had cracks going all across it, you know. But some of these people, they don't got nothing else other than to do except make themselves feel important. And that's it. So they think they got a little authority. They don't like the person. It becomes personal. And that's what they do. And the police is always coming out there some things. And maybe they just need to send like some kind of community service officer to say, hey, what's going on here? All right, you know what? Tell you what, why don't y'all both come to court and then talk about it? Or whatever it is, you know, I don't know. It needs to be handled better. Police should be doing things like finding criminals, finding people who are shooting people, killing people, sexually assaulting women, young kids.
Breaking in places.
Breaking in, you know, real crime, you know?
Yeah.
Instead of somebody barbecuing because I smell the smoke. Now, if the cold embers came across and set her house on fire, then I can see
call
that.
Call the fire department.
You know, well, yeah, call fire department first and then file a complaint, you know, because you can smell the barbecue and they didn't offer you none. That ain't a reason to call the police.
Well, I tell you one thing, it was a consensus that all the brothers said, it won't stop. We're not going to stop barbecuing. And I guess you're going to keep coming over here. And, you know, and it sets up this like tit for tat. So, you know, anytime you see anybody, you know, barbecuing, you're going to call the HOA and say, hey, you know, I smell smoke. Really? It just, I hope it doesn't get that trite. But T-Man, we had a great show, man. I enjoyed, you know, trying to go over some of these major things. I mean, I wish that we didn't have to go over them so much. I hope that when we do our show next week that, you know, we can have some better news, you know? Yeah,
well, you know what? I've been watching, you know, a lot of these kids still haven't been reunited with their families. There's 750 kids that don't know where their parents are. They haven't been reunited, and it's a mess. Now
and they're coming back up on the date again, and they're not going to make it.
They're not going to make it. You know what? They're incapable of making it. You know, they didn't have the information. They never thought that was going to happen. This judge just threw a wrench in their heinous activities. You know, this is a Stephen Miller project. You know, the man should have been born in the 40s because, you know, he definitely would have the march to the death chamber and have them play music as they walked in there and died. I just want to say, you know, to some of our Jewish brothers and sisters, some of this that's going on is an affront to the victims of the Holocaust. And you also, too, need to speak up. And I know a lot of them have, but we need more people to speak up. And so we can't allow this violation of norms and right and wrong continue. And
Japanese people need to speak about it too. I mean,
they need to speak up because that's how evil pervades. You know, when good men do nothing.
Yeah, when they are silent.
And it's good men and good women, they're doing nothing. And there are a lot of people speaking up. But, you know, the one thing I want to say, and I don't want to put a downer on this, when we hear the word meddling, that's the word that Obama used about the election. They said the Russians meddled in our election. No, the truth of the fact of the matter is, Russia is a state. They're there to overthrow democracy. They don't just meddle. They hijack. Anything they've done is went full steam. They're not going to go there and just look and say, we're going to meddle in an election, but not when they can change the vote and the outcome and have who they want. That's what they did. They did it in Michigan, they did it in Pennsylvania, and they did it in Wisconsin. So the part of the problem is that the Republicans don't want that investigation of these machines. They go to Comic-Con, they can hack these machines in a minute and 30. They put a thumb drive in the back of the machine, boom, everything is changed. They wrote the program. So you vote for Hillary Clinton, your vote comes out Donald Trump. Yeah. You know,
it's a lot. It's a lot that they don't want to unwrap. And I believe that they know a little bit more than they want to talk about.
Yeah. So, but you know what? It's a new day. Every day the sun rises is a new day. It's a better day. Things are going to get better. We just got to wait for them. You know, I'm glad there are a few good people that are out here or who are got the spirit, you know. I mean, we got to keep the struggle on, and we got to keep fighting. We in arms with a lot of people, you know, and so, and it goes on, and it gets a little frustrating, and that's what they want us to do. They want us to stop fighting. You know, they want us to give up and just surrender. Never give up. Don't surrender. This is a war. You're not going to win every battle. Might lose a lot of battles. But hey, until reinforcements come, we just got to keep going and keep battling. That's what I got to say.
Yep. Well, that gives me a little bit of hope, you know, and we will continue to be hopeful. We continue to press upon people to be vigilant, to make sure that you get out and vote, familiarize yourself with all of those people that are running. Make sure you support candidates that support your agenda. Make sure you register to vote.
All right, that is us from Lee Street Beat. S. Hacker couldn't be with us today. She had technical problems. Hopefully next week she'll be back, because we know she has a lot of insight and some other little tidbits that we never could imagine that she might say. But until then, we'll see you next week on Lee Street Beat. Everybody take care, pray for one another, and look out for one another. Until next week, it's Lee Street Beat.
Peace out, y'all. Bye.